Now there are two types of things that are used generally for fishing, especially for these catchable rainbows, and it's either baits or it's lures and flies. Okay, now your baits, they generally attract fish because of their smell or their movement, okay? Whereas the lures and flies attract by sight. I mean, they're attractive looking to the fish. And the most important thing that people have to realize about fish, they're really not a lot different than people. When people go out and they see something interesting, they pick it up with their hands to look at it now. Fish don't have that ability. The fish use their mouth for all that kind of stuff. So if you have something very attractive looking to the fish, even if he's not sure he really wants to bite it, he's going to go up and grab it in his mouth just to have a look at it. And that is why when you use baits, it's scented, he's much more apt to hang on to it for a bit so you can set the hook. And those are the two key ingredients when you're fishing for any fish, actually. But like I said again, baits are divided into natural baits and then lures that attract by sight, lures or flies. Okay, now we're talking about the baits, and of course you can ask almost anybody that's done any fishing or has heard about fishing or talked about fishing, and probably the most natural bait worldwide for fishing for trout, if you ask almost anybody, it's going to be worms. And worms you can either dig in your garden or you can find them in the most tackle shops, keep them in their store. And so this is probably the most natural bait that you'll find that people use. Another bait that is very common and very good for these fish is krill or shrimp. And they come in various states. You can buy ones like this that are fresh frozen, or you can have ones like this that come in a jar, they're already colored and cured. Another bait that works very well and is very popular with the Fraser Valley Rainbow Fishery, okay, is single salmon eggs or a roe. But generally single eggs like this, which can be purchased in most stores, and they are also another very good bait, especially in urban lakes. And now we've gone away from the bait and we've gone to lures. Okay, now these are what you call artificials or imitations, and they're meant to represent bait or to represent something the fish is looking for in a food, such as bugs or something else attractive in the water, as minnows or whatever. And there is various millions and millions of different types of lures that are made. You just can't show them all at once. But generally the ones that are used in this fishery are like there are spinners, there are small wobblers, there's what they call small lake trolls, there are flatfish, and there are hot shots, which are plastic little wobbler type lures. And then there's, of course, there's your artificial flies, which represent every bug known to man probably. And a lot of them don't represent necessarily any one certain bug, but they're just very attractive looking to the fish, and so that is the reason they work. People often quite often would like to know when is the best time to use baits, when's the best time to use lures, and really there is no real simple answer for that. It's all in the day you go fishing. I mean, sometimes lures work better, sometimes it's morning and evening. Bait works better in the middle of the day, sometimes bait works all day long. One thing about using baits is more of a relaxed fishing because it's sort of a sit and wait game. You throw it out, let it sit there with a float, or it lays on the bottom, and it's just a little bit more relaxing type fishing. Where a more active style of fishing, of course, is when you're using lures or trolling around in a boat or casting a fly with a fly rod. I mean, these are all different ways to fish, and of course it's just a little bit more active when you're using a lure that you have to retrieve constantly or something like that, and a lot of people prefer that. And but there's both styles, and it just depends what you're looking for out of the fishery. For more information, folks, on freshwater fishing in BC, please just go to www.gofishbc.com.